50th anniversary of the completion of the building of the community centre, which I think was completed on the 23rd of February in 1974. So we want to commemorate that, and what we're trying to do is to involve as many people who were involved those 50 years ago.
So you've been having a look through your photographs to see what relates to...
Yes, a selection of photographs that go back. The earliest ones on there, I believe, are 1975, which shows as myself and a couple of my boys actually in the meadow with the centre in the background, but a lot of them are taken at various meadowlark events through the years.
Right.
Unfortunately, not being very methodical on taking photographs, I'm not sure of some of the dates. Some of them are quite old, some of them fairly recent.
Well, it's a nice one to start.
Now, we are hoping, I am hoping, that somebody somewhere will recognise who they are, because I have no idea who they are. I don't know how or when I got the photograph, but if it's on my files, I don't believe that I took it. I think somebody in the family took it and gave it to me. But
and that's definitely the community centre behind.
That's the community centre behind.
Looks very different.
Yes. You can see there the cottage at the back, the top. You can see in front of the cottage the large chestnut tree stand there, which is no longer there, of course. It was cut down many years ago. But that's where we played our cricket. I know that is Sean Peacock standing there.
Right. So, and what year are you giving this one then?
That would be most definitely in the 1980s, because that's when I was fit enough to play cricket on a regular basis. Now that's inside the, as you used to call the committee room. You can see how different the wall was there. There was the cupboards that were on the wall there, and these were all the parties. Billy Peacock and Alan Ford, all these people sadly no longer with us, but quite a few people will enjoy looking at that picture and picking out the people, especially people like Alan Ford and Billy Peacock. Andy Smith at the back there.
Perhaps an even more important job as to who would have been there making the teas.
Yes, making the teas would have been the wives of, I'm trying to think of the name, Paula Harrison would have been one, who lives in the village still, the Harrisons. Christine Ford, a lot of the wives, would make the teas. It was quite a tradition, I suppose, in all villages. Do you know that man? Tony Caden?
No.
Tony lived on Barton Grove. He was a character. Nobody really knew Tony except that he was there and he turned up and he came to everything.
Right.
And he dressed up in funny clothes for all sorts of things. He was a bit of a, he was a character. Tony was always at all the events in the village. And this would have been in the run-up to a Meadowlark procession. That picture was taken in School Road, and you can see it, the Mill Road at the top. And that's Tony ready to follow the procession down. And once again, that would have been late 80s, early 90s. That would be the same year. The next photograph. Most of the pictures at the front here are going to be related to various Meadowlark occasions. In the early days, there were all the processions in the village until we had to stop doing the processions because of various things, health and safety, insurances. All of these are the same year. There's Tony again in the street, getting himself more involved.
So obviously you weren't involved because you're there taking some photographs.
I was there taking the photographs, yes. I was involved in the sense that marching behind a procession all the way down to the meadow. The Wizard of Oz. That. Now we come on to a photograph of Miss and Mr. Meadowlark. Somebody's going to recognise that. It's a marching band.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that Boys Brigade or Scouts?
Colchester Scout Band.
Right.
Mersey Island Lions. And somebody will know exactly what year that was because of the fact that it was a Colchester Scout Band. There's a lovely photograph. This is obviously a different year because that is a different Miss Meadowlark. That is late. That's 2013. Look.
Right.
That's 2013. So that's quite late. Right at the front end here, the ones we're looking at now are the later ones. Andy Brown handing out the prizes to the winners, runners-up, etc. That's part of the procession.
Right. Do you reckon the procession was still through the streets up for this one?
In 2013, that would have been around the field then. Yeah. This would have been part of the pageant on the meadow.
Right.
We're nearly to the end of these one now. That's John. John selling his strawberries and cream. Meadowlark again, and we're back to the 1980s now. We're back to the Meadowlark going round the village first. All the kiddies and the grown-ups, and everybody very, very enthusiastic about these processions. Some of the people will look at these photographs and realise that now they're getting on a bit. They're now 40 years older than they were there. The chairman in those days was a man called Bob Wyatt. Bob's still about, lives in Kings Hill. And he would spend a huge amount of time getting it square. Without people like Bob, there would have been no Meadowlark, and at one point, no KCA, because he really kept it going at one point.